Hello! We made it. Thank you so much for being here, you beautiful heart and soul. I hope that you are doing wonderfully today. I want to say first and foremost, thank you for your patience as I continue to work out these little kinks as to how everything comes together. And I'm sure by the time we get to week 3, week 4, the end of this webinar series, I am going to have this technology thing dialed in. I know it's going to be real. But today, I am so excited because we are diving into the series, second session of our 6-week series, all about self mastery. And today we are going to be talking about developing your self awareness as well as your mindfulness. And what does this mean? What is self mastery? Well, this self mastery development series is so that you can master these tools and skills and gain the knowledge to ultimately be able to unleash your fullest potential. That is what I want to help you do. Maximize your performance and really achieve greatness in every aspect of your life. That's what self mastery is all about. We want to master ourselves, master our performance, and master the output that we get when it comes to everything inside our lives. So, as I said, this week is week 2 of our development series. Okay. Last week we talked about what is self mastery, why is it important, and this week, as I mentioned, here we go. All right. Before we can dive into your self awareness on a deeper level, as well as mindfulness, I just want to give you a brief recap because you might have missed last week. I want to strongly encourage you to go back and watch that first video if this is your first time we're crossing paths. But just to get you up to speed briefly, what is self mastery? This is the ability to choose and manage your own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with intention and purpose, regardless of the circumstances that you are in. What does that mean? Honestly, that means that you have control over your thoughts and feelings because your feelings come from your thoughts. We're going to talk about that today. And ultimately, that leads to your actions. So, all of these things line up, and that's what rolls into self mastery. The impact of self mastery on your life is that you're going to be able to thrive in an ever changing world, which is what we live in today, as well as overcome any obstacle or challenge that comes up in your life. Circumstances are outside of your control. Again, we're going to be talking about this more today, but the impact on your success when it comes to self mastery is the fact that you're going to be able to keep going no matter what is happening around you. The 4 building blocks that we covered last week when it comes to self mastery is your self awareness, which we're going to dive deeper into today because it's that deep, your emotional regulation, resilience, and consistent action. So that pretty much catches you up on briefly what we covered last week. This brings us to this week, okay? Self awareness and mindfulness. These are going to be the 2 pieces that we continue to dive into today because it's that important, truly. Self awareness and mindfulness roll up and make all of this stuff emotional regulation possible. It makes resilience possible. It makes your consistent action possible. But these two pieces need a little bit more time, which is why they get an entire week dedicated to them. Before we dive into this, who am I? Alexis Ray, who? Why do I have the ability to talk to you about this? Had a couple of questions about this last week, and I wanted to be able to just lay it out there for you. All right. I recently had someone explain to me the acronym, I want to get it right, ETR, okay? ETR. Earn the right to share this information with you. Well, here it goes, okay? My name is Alexis Ray Lopez. I currently reside in Arizona. I am the only child, which ultimately just means I was the oldest, middle, and youngest growing up with a ton of responsibility and the ability to just perform. But how did that come about? Honestly, kudos to my parents. They did a heck of a job raising me, and I was thrown into entrepreneurship from a very young age. Also was a competitive athlete. I played college basketball. I've been around coaches, performance coaches, life coaches, business coaches, success coaches, since I was 8 years old, truly. And I closed my very first sale, my very first deal, um, around the age of 7. And I can tell you that story later, but the reason I'm giving you this background is because I want you to know that I come from over 16 years experience in entrepreneurship, scaling businesses, and along those years throughout my life, just like you, I've had circumstances, challenges, adversities that I've had to overcome. And for me, the biggest pieces of those in the last 6 years have been in my health, have been in the realm of health. And I've gone from being completely debilitated because of a life changing car accident, because of a chronic migraine diagnosis, because of things that were outside of my control. And all of that has led to the necessity in my life to develop self mastery. So, giving this information to you is because I don't want you to have to struggle to figure it out the way that I have. And all of these experiences in my life have allowed me to gather this information, apply this information, and really start to embody and share with others what it takes to make transformation real in your life. And ultimately, when it comes to self mastery, the reason you are looking at your own personal well being is because ultimately you want some type of transformation. It could be in your health, it could be in your personal life or your relationships, it could be in your career, it could be in any single area that you want to focus on, or it could be your whole life as a whole. But I have the authority, I have the ability to share this with you because I've lived it, and I literally implement these things every single day. So, if you're looking for someone who has a coaching certificate and has spent the last year studying the practices of what it takes for transformation, then I would strongly recommend that you continue to find coaches like that. If you're looking for someone who has lived it, who embodies it, who continues to practice it, and has helped over, I don't even know at this point in time, probably close to 100 people implement these types of practices into their lives, then I am the girl for you. So I'm excited to be continuing this webinar series with you. And without any further ado, let's get into it. What is understanding self awareness? What is self awareness? Okay. Self awareness is your practice, your ability to, let me just take a second here since I know nobody, let's see. I got to get my notes right. Technology, again, it's just gonna keep getting better, I promise. Ah, you gotta love it though. Okay, we're in our right place now. Thank you for your patience there. Understanding self-awareness, okay? Why is self-awareness a key to your transformation? Ultimately, self-awareness is one of the building blocks. We talked about it last week because it is what you, man, let me ask you this question, okay? When you hear the phrase self-awareness, what comes to mind? Just think about it for a second. When you hear self-awareness, what are the words that come up for you? What are the feelings that you have inside of your body? Does it feel easy? Does it feel unfamiliar? Does it feel like you have no idea what I'm talking about? On the surface level, self-awareness is most commonly talked about as the ability to recognize our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, but doing it without judgment. Okay? Understanding ourselves more deeply, when we do this, we can make more informed decisions in the moment in regards to whatever we're experiencing. We're going to be able to improve our relationships with ourselves, with those romantically involved with us, our family members, those closest to us, as well as our relationships that are more tertiary. So, your professional relationships, your client relationships, whoever you're interacting with in life are going to benefit from you having a strong self-awareness. Through self awareness, we gain insights into our strengths, our weaknesses, our values, our motivations, and this all starts to combine to letting us live an authentic life. Now, that's on the surface level, okay? When we are working together, what I'm going to encourage you to do is to go deeper, all right? When it comes to a self mastery practice and when it comes to self awareness, I'm not just talking about the surface level things that we say that we think we want or walking through life the way that we always have. Okay. I want you to drop this mask. And as you watch this and are thinking about this and trying to figure out how to implement self mastery into your life, the most important thing is to go deeper. And this is a personal journey. This is a personal experience. And it can be something that you share with a coach. It can be something that you do completely by yourself because maybe you don't feel like you have the support system that you need. If that is your circumstance, then I'm definitely going to encourage you to go find a community or go find a coach or go find people who are in the mindset that you want to be living in. But most importantly, when you're assessing your own personal self awareness, you have to be willing to go deep. And how we do that is we start to peel back the layers. Okay. I'm not sure if you've ever seen the movie Shrek, but I love when Shrek describes himself as an onion because he has layers. And that is what you have. We all have them. We all have layers. So diving deep into your self awareness ultimately means two things. Okay. This is below that initial surface definition that I just gave you. You have to get so personally honest with yourself. Live your voice out loud. Now, when I say get honest with yourself, what I mean is that little internal knowing. Maybe it's a voice. I call it a voice, right? Living your voice out loud. Whatever that voice is inside of you, telling you is whatever it is telling you is your truth. Okay. And that is your internal knowing. Some people call it our intuition. Some people call it our instincts. Maybe you even call it your gut. Whatever you want to call it, I like to think of it as just your internal voice. This is the voice that you want to start living out loud. This is the voice that you want to start following and aligning all of the pieces of your life to. And in order to get in touch with that inner voice, means that you have to get so honest with yourself. You're pulling back the layers. You're bringing this internal voice outside of yourself into the world. And it's going to be scary. It's going to feel intimidating. Maybe you have been wearing a mask. Maybe you have been living life on autopilot and just going through the steps that you feel like you're supposed to be following. When it comes to self mastery, when it comes to self awareness, we are dropping all of those masks and you are diving so deep into your own personal internal honesty. If you're going to go on this journey, you get to know that this exploration of your personal honesty, your personal authenticity, your personal voice is going to be the driving factor of this, which is what self awareness actually is: discovering and uncovering and getting to the root of your own self. Okay. When you do this, the second layer that goes into this is now being able to make a conscious choice about your thoughts, feelings, and actions. And we make that choice in alignment with our internal voice. Okay. So when we do this, what happens? The impact of self awareness on your success is going to go through the roof. Okay. Now, there's going to be people in your life and there's going to be circumstances that maybe don't always like or love the new changes that you're making. And I'm just going to be honest with you about that. Okay. You're going to be shifting, you are going to be transforming, you are going to be evolving into this next version of yourself. And what happens along that way, the impact of self awareness on your success, first and foremost, is that you're going to be making informed decisions in every aspect of your life that align with your goals, that align with that internal voice. By developing this deeper understanding of yourself, you're going to have clarity about what you actually want. You're going to be able to uncover your purpose and your vision for your life. And ultimately, having clarity and living in alignment with your voice out loud is what's going to allow you to foster resilience, because you have such a strong tie to this result that you want to create in your life. And when I say result, it could be a feeling. Success is a definition that is specific to you. Maybe success means that you want to love being able to wake up in the morning, or there are moments in the day that you want to experience joy. Whatever your definition of success is, self awareness is going to be what takes you there. So, being able to make these decisions about your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions that align with your biggest vision is what's going to come about. And then again, being able to overcome the challenges that come up, leverage your strengths and abilities, recognize the gaps that maybe you have in order to then go learn new skills or get new coaching, gather new information so that you can keep moving in the right direction of your life. Ultimately, empowering you to be able to thrive no matter what the circumstances that you're facing. That being said, how do we cultivate this? Okay. How do you become your own evolving truth? Power in the pause is the very first step. This is a phrase that I've been using with clients as well as with myself for over 2 years now. And really, what power in the pause means is to just pause, to just take a second to look around and observe, which is step number two. Okay. We have to get quiet, or we have to get into the moment of the circumstances that we're in and observe our thoughts, observe our feelings, and observe our behaviors or actions. So then we can decide what we want to do next. What do we actually want to consciously choose for ourselves as a thought, as a feeling, as a behavior? And then we go implement those things. Okay. So you can't just say you want it and then not do it and think that that's going to get you the result. You go from knowing to doing to being. And that's what this process is of your evolving truth, of you becoming who you want to be through self awareness. Okay. So, power in the pause, you have to have this reflection. You have to have this internal conversation with this voice that you're about to start living out loud. You're going to observe yourself in certain circumstances, basically in every circumstance of every day. You could be observing yourself. Now, one thing through my own experience as well as working with clients, it can start to get a little overwhelming when we're thinking about it in every single aspect of our lives, which is why you have yourself or a plan or a coach to be able to help you focus on one thing at a time. Okay. But again, you're going to be observing your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, and then you're going to implement the change that you've already identified that aligns with what you actually want. Okay, implementing these new thoughts, implementing these new behaviors, implementing these new feelings. And that's a practice, which is what we're going to get into in just a second. Then, once you start making those changes, you get to reassess. You get to keep observing. And in that reassessment, that is where we adapt and that is where we adjust. What about this new thing is working? What about this old thing that keeps coming up and seems to be stuck in my thoughts, in my habits, in my feelings? What do I need to do differently so that I can keep going forward? That is ultimately how you cultivate self awareness. This brings us to transformation. Okay. Healing is the domain of the past, transformation is the domain of the future. Your vision for your life, your deepest desire that is sitting in your heart, in your gut, in the back of your mind, the things that maybe you won't let yourself say out loud are going to be the keys to your future and your transformation. Now, self awareness and mindfulness go hand in hand. Okay. Mindfulness is the practice of being in the moment without any judgment of ourselves, without any judgment of the circumstance, without any judgment of anything. Okay. Mindfulness is just the practice of being in the moment without judgment. Basically, what we experience in life and what my own experience was that I had a very successful corporate job. I was running an office of a business that was scaling. We went from $0 to $50 million in 4 years, and it was very rapid. What I was doing, I was passionate about at first, and I liked being in that life. Truly. I thought that being in the corporate world and living in the fifth floor apartment and overlooking the city was what was going to make me happy. And ultimately, what ended up happening was 4 years into it, 3.5 years into it, I started to break down, truly. And now that I'm thinking about the timeline more efficiently, it was about 2 years and a couple months when I had my breakdown. And when I say breakdown, I mean like emotional rock bottom. I had a bunch of other beach balls popping up in my life, so to speak, right? Sometimes we suppress certain things, and then and you can think of that as a beach ball. We're pushing that beach ball underneath the surface of the water, the ocean, the pool, whatever you view life as. And all it takes is one of those beach balls to pop to the surface, and then you're like not able to hold them down anymore. That is what an emotional breakdown or rock bottom kind of means. All of these beach balls that we've been holding inside of ourselves are popping out, and we just can't keep it together anymore. Being in a situation where you don't have alignment or you're not being honest with yourself starts to do damage to this internal relationship that you have with yourself. And bringing us down from what not having mindfulness is means that you're basically believing that the feelings you're having are facts and moving through life on autopilot as a victim of your circumstance. That's what that's what I was at. And my rock bottom led me to walking into my boss's office, sitting at the table with him, and sharing with him openly and honestly that I was not mentally and emotionally okay, and that I needed to get some boundaries in my life, including around work, and I had to make a drastic change very quickly if I was gonna get back to being okay and being able to perform in my job, being able to perform in my life. Performance doesn't mean that we're, like, putting on a show. Performance means that you are literally operating in your life, like, doing the doing. So when we come to bring this all back for you, when we come to mindfulness, ultimately, what you want to be able to do is create a miracle for yourself. And a miracle is just a shift in perspective. This miracle, this shift in perspective, comes from being in the moment and being self aware. Now, mindfulness as a whole, okay, comes about when we take the ultimate responsibility for a situation by being responsible for our thoughts about it. I love Marianne Williamson. Uh, and this goes hand in hand with something that is called the mindset model. Okay. And I want to explain this to you. This is a tool that I use with my clients. Um, and I'm going to break this down. Okay. There's pieces here. So, your circumstances are the facts of life. These are the things that we cannot change, truthfully. They are just what it is. I can't change the fact that I was in a car accident. I can't change the fact that my health drastically changed because of that car accident. Your circumstances are the things that are outside of your control, but they make up your reality. Okay. Your thoughts are what you think about it. Okay. Your thoughts are what you think about your circumstances. This can be one sentence in your head. You can have one thought about your circumstance, or you can have a million thoughts about your circumstances, but your thoughts are what is that about? Okay. Then our thoughts lead us down to our feelings. Our feelings come from our thoughts, which earlier when I mentioned talking about self-awareness and like the counteract of that, that our feelings are not actually facts. Sometimes they can get so big and they can make our entire system feel like there's no way out, or there's no change, or there's no adjustment. Your feelings are just feelings, and they come from your thoughts. Why am I feeling this way? Well, what am I thinking about my circumstance? Okay. Your actions come from your feelings. What do I do because of how I feel, because of what I think about this circumstance? Now, the things that we do are the things that we have control over, right? That's exciting to us. That is empowering. Your actions, your behaviors literally get to be what you do and don't do, which again comes from this chain that you get to take action from your feelings, you get to develop feelings from your thoughts, and your thoughts are just about whatever circumstances you're currently facing in life. Once you identify the things that you can do, what you will do, and become aware of what you're not doing, the outcome of that, what happens, are your results in life. I find this model extremely empowering, sometimes very eye-opening for the clients that I work with, and ultimately gives you the power to change your experience within any circumstance in life. Okay? Your results always prove your thoughts. I'm going to say that again. The results you have in your life are proof of the thoughts inside your head. It all starts with, sometimes for us, with a feeling, but ultimately, what comes before feelings are your thoughts. Your feelings are an outcome of your thoughts, and the results that you are experiencing in your life come from your thoughts. The reason this is so exciting, the reason I get excited about this, is because your thoughts are in your control. Your thoughts always create your feelings, and they continue to trickle down through this model. So you have the power to create the results you want to have in your life. And that is what self awareness and mindfulness really are all about. This is why these two go hand in hand. The impacts of mindfulness on your success is that you are going to be able to perform at your peak. You're going to be able to overcome challenges with resilience, and you're going to be able to cultivate the life of your dreams from this day going forward. Now, mindfulness is in the moment, self awareness. I feel like in today's day and age, currently, mindfulness is very closely associated with meditation. And that's great. Okay. Meditation is the way that a lot of us can practice mindfulness, um, because it gets us still and it gets us into the moment. But what I want you to start to see, and what I hope you understand from today's session, is that mindfulness is just being in the moment, observing yourself and everything around you without judgment. And then self awareness and all of this coming together is then being able to choose your thoughts. Your thoughts then create your feelings. Your feelings then allow you to empower yourself to take action. And the actions that you take ultimately lead to the results in your life. So, mindfulness and self awareness continue to contribute. All of this is working together within self mastery so that you can get the outcome, the desired results, the transformation that you are craving in your personal and your professional life, because you're one person. And it's going to take you to your dreamland. Literally, it's going to take you to where you want to go. These two things, self awareness and mindfulness, can get you to your goals, your dreams, your outcomes. And they are just pieces of a strong self mastery skill set and practice. Whew, we covered a lot today. I feel like we got into a couple of really good things. I mean, we covered a lot of details. I maybe didn't go deep enough, or maybe I went too deep in a few things. I'm definitely open to your feedback, but most importantly, if you have questions, if you need help, if you want support, if you're looking for encouragement, you do not have to go on this self mastery journey alone. And honestly, it's not meant to be experienced alone. It is not meant to be something that you have to figure out in life by yourself. So please, 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 please reach out. let's get in contact. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. I want to know if this is working for you. I want to know if you have questions about what we are covering every single week. Um, I am here for you. Okay, so let me put this back up here. If you have questions, if you want to have a conversation, if you're curious about what it's like to work with me, you can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. Go to my website, alexisray.com, and we'll we'll get a call scheduled, we'll get you booked, we'll get the conversation rolling. We'll make sure you have what you need in order to foster and manifest your self-mastery practice so that you can exceed all of your goals in life and perform at the level that you really want to be at. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you got value out of this. Please, please, please let me know if you've loved it, what you took away from it, and what you plan on implementing this week into your life from the things that we've covered over these last 2 weeks. I'm excited to see you next week. And until next time, please remember that life is beautiful and you create the magic.